All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar on potty training over Labor Day weekend. Really, this is a webinar covering potty training in 3 days, that 3-day method that you probably have stumbled across in the past. So you can use this really for any weekend, but this most current weekend coming up is Labor Day. So let's talk about how to use this method. My name is Julia Walker. I am a parent of 2 girls, ages 2 and 4. I am a nurse, background in pediatrics, potty expert, and I've worked in preschools, daycares, I've nannied, I've had the pleasure and privilege of potty training a lot of kids. So I look forward to sharing my experience with you. So a little bit about us. Pooping on the Potty, the Online Academy, is a resource for parents that leaves out all the fluff and gets to the stuff that you actually need to know. Our goal is to make potty training easier and have it be an enjoyable experience that brings you closer to your kid. So in this webinar, again, we're going over the 3-day method, and we recognize that parents here are in very different circumstances. Each kid is unique, so not everything is 100% going to apply to your kid, but that's why we welcome you to leave any questions in our chat box. And if you do leave a question, please just attach your email so I can get back to you personally, just in case we run out of time. I try to stick to that 20-minute marker just because we're all parents and we all know when that 20 minutes up, our kids are going to need our attention, mine included. So without further ado, let's get started looking at what we're going to talk about today. We are going to cover why you might want to use a long weekend to potty train in the first place, how to tell if it's going to work for your kid, steps to prepare, action time, so what you need to do on the 3 days that you're doing this thing, pros and cons of using the 3-day method, and then, of course, does it really take 3 days? So let's get into it, guys. So why use Labor Day or any 3-day weekend to potty train? Well, since you asked, it can actually be really fun. So this is a time where hopefully you've obviously taken some time off of work perhaps, and you're hopefully relaxed and you can just actually really focus on your kid. Labor Day is ideal because the weather is usually pretty nice outside. So you can, be in your backyard, let your kid run nude, all that good stuff. So it can actually be a pretty nice time to do this. Your kid, of course, gets your undivided attention because, again, you're not distracted with other midweek or regular weekend stuff that usually grabs your attention. What we find is that a lot of kids that show slow progression or have a lot of accidents sometimes need more intense focus from their parents. So these kids can actually really benefit from the 3-day method. Sometimes they have kind of a grasp of what's going on, but they just can't put it all together because they haven't had enough one-on-one time really honing in on their potty skills. So that's one of the perks of the 3-day method. Some children and parents benefit from that intensity in general. There's a lot of parents out there that really need just that focused time to focus on their kid to really help them grasp everything. And honestly, it can bring you and your kiddo a lot closer together. So having that weekend or that time together where you just are together, you're doing everything together, can actually be really fun and a cool bonding experience. How to tell if it's going to work for your kid. That's the thing, right? There's all these different potty training methods out there, and the 3-day method is arguably the most intense. So you don't want to start doing something that's going to really rock the boat for your kid. So here's how to tell. So first of all, you want to look for those signs of readiness. This is key with any potty training method. Whenever you're going to start potty training, don't start unless you see that your kid is actually ready to do this thing. So you're looking for them showing interest in using the potty. So jumping down to the bottom, that looks like, maybe they follow you into the bathroom, or they're curious what their older siblings doing, or they really like seeing the public restrooms. Those can all be signs that they might be interested in it. Maybe they're even practicing. If their diapers or pull-ups, whatever they're wearing, are staying drier for longer, that's also a sign that physiologically or anatomically, their bowels and their bladders are more able to hold their contents for longer. So physically, they're actually more capable of potty training. And that's a big thing. There's like the mental side of potty training, the emotional side, and then of course the physical side. Kiddos need to put all three of those together in order to be successful. Communication. When your kid starts telling you, I peed or I pooped, that's a big deal. That's a sign that they're starting to recognize that things are going on down there. Now, if they're communicating, I'm peeing right now, or I'm pooping, or I have to poop even, that's a big sign that you need to get on this, because they're starting to recognize this and they're starting to acknowledge that, okay, maybe I need to be doing something different. Also, different topic here than signs of readiness. If your kid likes focused attention and thrives on that, they may be really responsive to the 3-day method. They may love and crave your undivided attention, and so they may do whatever they can to please you, which may in turn be using the potty and learning how to do all of that. Okay, steps to prepare. Okay, this is before your 3-day weekend or 3 days starts, whatever it is. You want to get everybody on board, because again, this is a pretty intense method. So you don't want to be going at it alone. Or if you are, you want to make sure you minimize distractions as much as possible. So not only do you want to get people in your household on board, like another parent, caregiver, siblings, you also, of course, want to tell your child what you're thinking. You know, cue them in a little bit, make it fun, make them light, but let them know what's coming down the pipeline. Also, clear your calendar. So whenever you decide to do 3 days of potty training, no distractions. Make sure your only focus is on your kids. So you don't want to approach, say, Saturday where you're totally focused, and then Sunday you have a target outing for an hour. You don't want to do that over the 3 days. You want to stay focused, stay at home in their environment to help them build confidence. So clear your calendar. You may already have this next one, but get some fun undies. This is one of the things that can get them really excited. Again, maybe you already have them, or if you don't, get them some the day or a couple days before, just so they can feel really amped up about what's about to come. And have some rewards ready. So there's a lot of talk among potty training experts about whether tangible rewards should be used or not. What everyone can agree on, though, is that positive reinforcement is key. So positive reinforcement can look like, you know, cheering them on, a big high five, all that good stuff, to giving them some type of reward, like a candy or a sweet treat they like, some type of meal they love, or even a toy, book, something like that. So have your rewards ready. Think about what you want to give them. And potty supplies, that's a big one. Maybe you, again, already have this stuff, but you want to make sure you have a potty chair or a potty seat that can go on your toilet so that your kid feels safe and feels like they have something that's going to hold them secure, so they can focus on what they need to do in the potty instead of being worried that they're going to fall in. So have your potty supplies ready. That also includes the hand washing stuff. For kids learning to potty train, if the potty stuff doesn't click right away, at the very least, help them cultivate the hand washing side of things after going, because not only is it hygienic, but it's also something they can do and they want to do. So that's a really cool thing. So make sure you have a step stool so they can access the sink, and some easy hand soap so they can master that part. And finally, the night before, prepare your house, because you may let your kid go nude and you don't want to worry about them peeing on your couch or your favorite rug, whatever it is. So try to do a little prep work ahead of time, just so you feel good in case, you know, your kid pees somewhere, because they probably will. That's a part of this whole thing. So roll up the rug, put a shower curtain over the couch, all that good stuff. Okay, action time. So a rundown of what the 3 days are going to look like. You're going to want them to look basically the same. So Saturday morning, you want to wake up and say bye-bye to diapers, and either let them go nude or have them wear the panties or undies, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever your kid feels comfortable with. A lot of kids don't like going nude, so obviously that might not be a good option for them. So you can also do a diaper roundup, which can be a really fun way to get them started. So have them run through the house, find all the diapers, put them in a box, and maybe say, we're going to donate them to your neighbor down the road, or maybe just put them aside if they're a little sensitive about that. But either way, try to get rid of the diapers. Again, lay out your rewards. Show your kid the awesome stuff that's coming to get them excited. And throughout the day, do dry checks. This is a really cool way to congratulate your kid on something great they're doing. So have them look at their undies if they're wearing them and say, are you dry? And, really congratulate them for being dry for that, for a period of time. That's really awesome. With the 3-day method, you're also going to want to make sure your kid is really well hydrated. The reason is you want them to get a lot of good practice going to the bathroom. So have some really fun drinks on hand. Obviously, really sugary drinks can make their bladders kind of overactive and overly sensitive, which, yes, we want them to go, but we also don't want them to have bladder sensitivity where they actually can't control it. So maybe stay away from really sugary juices and opt for things like water with fun fruit in it, something like that. Watch them like a hawk, of course. So obviously don't hover and be like, do you have to go potty? Do you have to go potty now? You don't want to do that because that really stresses both of you out, but be with them all day and watch for their signs. Likely you've seen them in the past kind of dancing around before they have to pee or poop. So keep an eye out for those. Maybe set a timer so they have constant potty reminders, things like that. And lastly, just again, know that accidents are going to happen. We don't even really call them accidents when they're potty training because it's expected. They're learning, right? So, and when it happens, just say, it's okay, you've got this. You're going to get to the potty next time, things like that. Stay positive. Okay, pros and cons of the 3-day method. Obviously, with every method, there's good things and bad things. So pros. Well, you may see results in 3 days. That's kind of the crux of the method, right? You want to see some major progress at the end of 3 days, and a lot of kids do. You also can start saving money on diapers sooner because you're not kind of in this mix of diapers and potty using, things like that. You just kind of say, we're done, at least during the day. Now, keep in mind, some parents want to tackle it all at once. It's really kid dependent if you want to do nighttime potty training at the same time. But generally speaking, a lot of kids don't have enough control quite yet. When they first start learning, it really depends on their age partly. So just bear that in mind. You might still need to have your kiddo in diapers. Less waste in landfills, of course. Diapers are non-compostable, at least most of them aren't, I think. So it's definitely adding to our mountains of trash. Fewer power struggles with diapers. The older kids get, the more likely they are to resist getting rid of diapers because they want control over their bodies and independence. That's part of it. So you might find the older your kid gets, the more resistant they are to getting rid of the diapers. Another pro is, again, your kiddo gets that undivided attention for the first 3 days of their potty career. That's really awesome. And that lays a great foundation for their potty using over their life in general, right? And then yes, lots of bonding and playing with your kid. Now some cons. Saying it takes 3 days can be really misleading. There are actually really few kids who exit the 3-day method on day 3 and are 100% potty trained, don't need any reminders, never have any accidents. So parents going into this thinking, yes, I'm done on Monday night, it's probably not realistic, but you can expect to have a good platform, a good foundation for your kiddo. It also can lead to fear, frustration, and disappointment for both the parent and kid. So that's something to keep in mind, and that fear in your child can lead to some unhealthy elimination patterns. So what I mean by that is it can make them afraid to poop, or if they have an accident, it can make them feel really self-conscious, and then it can lead to issues like constipation and things like that. So something to keep in mind. In general, this method can be kind of too harsh and intense when it should actually be really fun. But if you're one of those parents and your kid is one of those kids that thrives on intensity, it may be fun. So that's just something to consider. And then lastly, there was a lot of opposition from some parents on this method because there was kind of this element of forcing fluids and salty snacks on your kid to make him go to the bathroom. And a lot of parents are just against that in general. So those are just some pros and cons to keep in mind. And then again, does it really take 3 days? This is kind of where we're going to conclude. So again, I already kind of touched on this. Yeah, if you do it solidly for 3 days, you're probably going to see some really nice progress in your kid. Again, they've had your undivided attention. You've been focusing on this. You're probably going to have a nice foundation. But again, is your kid not going to have an accident down the road in the following weeks? Probably not. They may, is what I mean. So it's really kid dependent. It's really parent dependent, but just know that this can be a great launching point for you and your kid, and it can make you both feel really confident. The last thing I want to leave you with is, with each day, you're going to probably have to start over from zero. So what I mean by that is, on Saturday, you're going to start from basically zero, and hopefully your kid's going to get some good progress in, right? Sunday, it's probably going to feel like Saturday never happened. Monday, it might even feel the same, but usually parents start to see some changes on Monday. So just something to keep in mind. Don't get discouraged if Sunday afternoon rolls around and it feels like you've made no progress. You'll get there. Okay, thank you. That was the end of the webinar portion. I'm going to get to a couple questions, but first I want to just tell you a little bit about what we offer, especially parents trying to navigate this whole potty training thing. It can be really overwhelming. So I want to take you to my screen here, taking you over to the Pooping on the Potty, the online academy website. You can sign up here. It's $17 right now for full access to everything, which includes all of our guides. I can take you there, as well as access to me. So again, I am a nurse. I potty train loads of kids. I'm a potty expert. I love it, and I love helping parents. So you and I can work one-on-one, face-to-face, things like that, virtually, that is. And we can talk about, an individualized plan for you and your kid. So as far as our guides, we have a get ready guide. We talk about all the methods, the signs, how to get your kid excited. We have all that good stuff, nighttime potty training. Basically, we take all the information that's in a huge manual or like a 300-page parent's guide, and we condense it into the stuff you actually need to know. So we have our get ready guide, we have our get going guide. We talk about fun, creative rewards besides like the M&M trick, which I totally used. So we have lots of fun things there. So please check out our website. We'd love to see you there, and I would love to work with you personally. And let's go to our questions. So we have just 2 minutes left. So I'm going to try to get to at least one. We had one parent, I had a parent email me and say, my son poops in the potty but struggles to recognize when he has to pee. So this is really common. Kids will nail down one thing, but then they will struggle with the other thing, right? So in this case, this kiddo poops really great, but has trouble recognizing when he pees. So one thing I would recommend to this dad is try some different underwear first. So if he has like those thick potty training underwear where the fabric is thicker, that can be really misleading to kids, and it can kind of almost mimic the feeling of a pull-up or a diaper. So go for like really thin cotton underwear, or even little boxer shorts, or nothing at all. Let him go nude or just wear pants, something like that. So it feels more immediate when moisture leaks down his legs. Sometimes, that fabric is meant to soak up the urine, which is kind of the opposite effect you want at this point, right? Again, having him go nude for a few days can really help him recognize the sensation he's feeling from his bladder to that which is happening down his legs and his tennis shoes. And then do those dry undie checks. If he's wearing underwear, check in and say, hey, are your undies dry? And if so, give him a big reward, big compliments. Using a timer can be really helpful for kiddos that have trouble with peeing, and also bathroom breaks before transitions are key. So if you're about to get in the car and go somewhere, obviously go to the bathroom. If you're about to leave the store to go somewhere else, go to the bathroom. It can feel like all you do, but it can help your kid become more successful, more confident. And then when he does pee in the potty, again, positive reinforcement, celebrate, make him feel really proud about his accomplishment. All right, we are now at 1:20. I know my kids are gonna run in here asking me for lunch, or 12:20, depends on where you're at. So that concludes our webinar. If you have any additional questions, please join us in the Academy. Go to our sign up page, You have access to me. I'd love to help you one-on-one and help make this potty training experience super fun and enjoyable for you and your kid. Thank you guys. Take care.